Hello, welcome to the video. I've got two tables here and two buttons here. So if the table over here is hidden, then with the click of this button, I'm going to be able to show it. And if the table is visible like this, with the click of this button, I'm going to be able to hide it. And same thing will be done for the second table as well with the click of this second button. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to do it by using a function with a parameter. So I'm going to use only one function and assign them to these two buttons to take control over these two tables. Few months ago, I had uploaded a video where I showed how to toggle a div container using a button. And over there, I got many comments, like one over here, which asked me how to do the same thing when they have got multiple elements. And another comment I got was how to do that when you have got multiple tables. So I think this video will address both of these issues as we have got multiple elements and the element that we are going to work on is table. We have got more than one table, so that's multiple tables and multiple elements as well. And we are going to do that with the help of a function with a parameter. So let's learn how to do that. Okay, here I have the HTML file and I've got two tables over here, as you can see. So this one is the table 1 and this one is the table 2. If I open this, you can see that one of the table is going to describe about HTML, CSS and JavaScript, while the other table is going to describe about various models of different car companies. So we are going to work on these tables. So in order to start working on this, let's add folder over here for JavaScript and then add a JavaScript file. Let's name the file hide and show tables.js. So let's go inside the file over here and then let's start working. First of all, what am I going to do is I'm going to assign a variable called table container 1 and this one will have access to the table number 1. So I'm going to use the ID that I gave for this table. See here, the ID that I gave for this first table is table 1 and I'm going to assign this table to this variable. Let's do the same thing for the second table as well. Query selector hashtag table 2. So I have used query selector. You can use get element by ID as well. Just follow the correct syntax when you do that. And then another thing that I'm going to do is create two variables. So the first one will be called is clicked 1 and then I'm going to assign it to true and then I'm going to create another variable called is clicked 2 and I'm going to assign this again to true. So this variable over here will be used to check the state of visibility of this table over here, the first table. And this second variable will be used to check the visibility state of the second table, which means it will check the state whether the table is visible or hidden. So over here, so when I assign this true over here, what I mean is that this first table is hidden, and when I assign this true, this means that the second table will be hidden at the beginning. And in order to get access to this, let's put a button over here. So under the first table, I'm going to put a button called show and hide table 1. And then over here, I'm going to put a on-click event listener. So let's do the same thing for the second table as well. Let's put this table number 2. So over here, I'm going to pass a function. Now let's work on the function over here. Okay, let's create the function. Const show and hide equals to function. Let's write the parameter as table. So I'm going to pass the table as the parameter. So over here in the parameter, I'm going to pass either this table or this table. So inside this function, I'm going to write what will happen when I pass this table and what will happen when I pass this table. So let's start by checking which table has been passed. So if table equals to table container 1 that means that the first table has been passed. Then what we are going to do, and else if table equals to table container 2, we will be running another condition to hide or show the table. So if table equals table container 1, what I am going to do is I will run another condition. If is clicked 1. If it is true, that means that the table is still hidden. So what I am going to do is I am going to display the table. So I am going to set the style to table. So if you are using other element other than table, it will be better for you to use block. But with the block, while displaying table, there might be some problems in the CSS. So I'm going to use the table over here as the value. So after displaying the table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set is clicked 1 to false. So what we are doing is if the table that has been passed is table container 1, if the table, this parameter equals to table container 1, we are going to check first of all if is clicked 1 is true or false. If this the is clicked 1 variable is true, then we are going to display the table with this line over here, and then we are going to set is clicked 1 to false. Else, which means, so the else statement will run if is clicked 1 is already false. That means that the table is visible, then the else statement is going to run. So what I am going to do is I am going to hide the table. And then I am going to set the state to true. And now going into the table container 2, if the table that has been passed is table container 2, then we are going to run the same condition, but instead of is clicked 1, we are going to pass is clicked 2. So let's do that. Is clicked 2. Let's set the is clicked 2 to false. Is clicked 2 to true. So if the table that has been passed is table container 2, then we are going to check if is clicked 2 is true or false. If the is clicked 2 is true, which is the if statement here, then this code is going to run. That means if is clicked 2 is true, then the table is still hidden. So we are going to display the table with this function and then set the is clicked 2 to false. And then if the is clicked 2 is false, that means that the button has been already clicked and the table is still visible, then this statement, then this condition, else condition is going to run, which means that the table will be hidden and is clicked 2 will be true. So this will be the function and this will be the condition inside the function. So now let's work on the button over here. Let's save this JavaScript file and then go on to the HTML file and pass the function over here. So it's the show and hide. So and hide. For the first table, I'm going to pass table container 1. And for the second table, I'm going to pass the second table. And in order to run this, let's get access to the JavaScript. Hide and show tables.js file. And then let's save this file. Let's run it using the terminal. I'm going to use live server to run this. Okay, now we have got two buttons over here. As you can see over here, we have got the buttons. Now let's see if this is working or not. I'll show you something. So when is clicked 1 is true over here, that means that the table is still hidden. So when I click this button over here, table container 1 is going to be passed inside here, and then it will check whether each clicked one is true or false. So since the table is hidden, that means that it is still true, which means it is not visible. Then we are going to display the table. So when I click this button, when the table is not visible, this if statement will run. And when the table is visible and I click this button, this else statement will run and hide the table. So let's see now. So and hide table 1. See here, the table has appeared. And if I click this again, the table disappears. Same thing will happen for this second button over here. So if I click this button, this one is second table is going to appear. If I click this, the second table is going to hide. So let's see here. It works anyway. So that is how you are going to hide or show or toggle the element when you have multiple elements using a function and a parameter. So even though I used table over here, you can use any elements. You can do this for any elements. You just need to select the element with the ID or class, and then you pass it like this. Then you will be able to do this. So instead of table, if you have multiple paragraphs, you can do the same thing using this function, using this code. And if you have div or anything, you can do with this code. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please hit the subscribe button, give a thumbs up, and if you have any suggestions, please give in the comments. Thank you so much.